Now I want to say some things about culture. Just throw out some things. Culture is extremely important for this whole discussion that we're having. So I'm so glad that Ron said that. And I want to say why. Culture is the grounding of a people's collective existence. Culture is not about museums. It's not about, we have the cultural part. And so then you get some performances, like we're going to do. And where people dance and people, sing or rap or whatever. We call that's the culture. The culture is everything that we do in here. The culture is the thinking, because your culture gives you rules for thinking. That's what they don't say that, but that's what they know, and that's why they put so much energy into cultural imperialism. Cultural imperialism, which is to impose their way of thinking on us. And when they do that on us, we cannot think in our interest anymore. Said, enough said. Yep. We all know it. We've all experienced it. But it was intentional. They control with culture. You control the mind. Okay? Culture is a powerful aspect of human existence. So much so that it's carried by migrant populations. We talked about that earlier, and we can talk about that some more. You see, the markets were reconstructed in Brooklyn. We used to have, what's the name of the market? Marquetta. Under the L on 116th Street. That's it, the Marquetta, right? I don't even know if I don't think it's functioning. Is it? Okay, because I went by there and it just doesn't look like it used to look. But these are the ways that we take our culture. Problem is, we don't do it with a political understanding. Okay, so that's what we need to do. Culture, I'm saying, is the most important factor in the determination of a people's wholeness. And we know that it represents the totality of a people's collective life. So within culture is created language. Now think about it. That's a very important issue, that they took away our language. What did that do to us? And they continue to do that. In the schools, in the public schools, they will not allow our children to speak in their languages. They tell them, you check that at the door. Why? Because they'll say that has no relationship to intelligence and to learning the things you're supposed to learn. When you're ready to do that, you got to check that thing that your parents gave to you. You leave that at the door. And I've seen that. I saw that in my daughter's high school, where the students who spoke Spanish were told by a teacher who didn't speak Spanish, therefore could not understand them when they spoke. Don't you speak that in this school. What does that do to a person? Language is extremely important. What does it do to a person as you try to change the way you speak? And I'm talking about accent now. And you people from the Caribbean, my people, you know that's true. Because you got different ways of speaking. And some of our people will never speak in a way that you could tell where they come from. But they could if they wanted to. Okay? To change the way you speak has such implications for how you feel about yourself. It's so deep and it's so painful in terms of the rejection of a core part of yourself. And you see, this is part of the damage of the Maat that we don't want to look at, but we got to look at. We have to look at it if we are going to address it. Okay, so culture, and that's one of the reasons they do that, is they know that the language carries with it a worldview which is antithetical to the European worldview. They know that. That's why they don't want you to speak the way, you speak with your family. They know that. And there was a list of words that was put out in a school in Brooklyn that said that a child would be punished, taken out of the classroom, and I don't know about suspended. I mean, a list that this white dude had done, and it was like saying things like bad.
Brother was on there.
Okay, brother was on there. I'm glad somebody saw it. Can you imagine?
Wow.
And he said, no, you can't do that here, and saw that as, that's like insubordination. Okay, and you wonder about enslavement and the continuate, that's the same process. Okay? All right, so culture, I'm not gonna say everything that it does, but human beings need a sense of order for health and for psychic balance. Culture gives you that sense of order. Okay? And then I talk about culture being understood as a distinct entity. It is also has content, that is the things that we create make up what is in a particular culture. It is also importantly a context. Culture is a context for the definition of meaning. What is meaningful for human beings is primarily determined collectively and not individually. Okay? And then finally, culture is the process through which we become human. Now that's a strong statement, and I'm standing by it, and if I had 2 more hours, I would argue for it. But I'm saying that is uniquely human. And that's how we become human. The way in which groups of people who are historically and biologically related express their own special humanity through culture. And then really importantly is the way in which culture can be understood as the supreme ideological force in human experience. It is which roots them in a systematic explanation. They are, why they existed, and what they mean to each other. Okay? So one is linked to others through this very important sense of cultural identity. Cultural identity, therefore, helps to give direction to one's life and imparts the strength that comes from a sense of unity. Intact cultural identity is necessary for a people to have self-confidence.